Thank you, and good morning. My name is Hannah Torres, and as Sandy just mentioned, I am the director for as Julia just mentioned, I'm the director for the Faculty Research Development Office at University of New Mexico. Special thanks to Julia, to Sandy Rodriguez, to Kate Cunningham, Mary Jo Daniel, all the fantastic people at Advance for hosting this workshop today. And we're excited to have you all here. I'm joined as well by Monica Fishel, the Associate Director for FRDO. And our main goal for today's workshop is to share with you a bit more about the Faculty Research Development Office, to give you an introduction to our services and all of the ways that we can help to support you in your research endeavors at UNM. Now, what I'd like to do before we jump into that is learn a little more about you and your research interests. So to help us learn more about you, it would be wonderful if in the chat, don't hit enter yet, but in the chat, if you could please use 10 words more or less to share with us what some of your biggest research interests are right now. So we'll all hit enter at the same time. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to think it through and share with us what is something that you are currently working on, something that you're considering working on, that you're really excited about in terms of your research right now. So think that through. All right. So we're going to hit enter in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see what some folks are working on. So we've got math and music theory interactions. That's fascinating. Music composition, looking at publishing longstanding research results, improving international field facilities, family dynamics and health inequalities. There's a wide range of research that's represented here today, which is really exciting. And what I would really encourage you all to do as well is to take a look through the chat as we're continuing this conversation and see if there are people working on research that might complement what you're working on, and see maybe if there's a person you might not normally interact with that you could connect with here. So do take a look. There's so much fascinating research going on at UNM, so much important research. And that is what we are really interested in helping you to build out as an office. That is our focus. So I appreciate you sharing a bit more about yourselves. And now what I will do is give you an introduction to the Faculty Research Development Office at the University of New Mexico. We are a unit of the Office of the Vice President for Research, along with other units such as the Office of Sponsored Projects. And our main mission is primarily twofold. We work with other units of the OVPR to enable faculty across the main campus to obtain external funding to support research. That's one of our big goals. And in addition to that, we help implement OVPR campus research initiatives. For example, right now, we are working through the Program for Enhancing Research Capacity, or PERC. This is an inaugural program that helps to support acquiring shared research instrumentation and equipment to add or enhance research capacity at UNM. So these are some of our main goals as an office. And we'll get into some of the details of the ways that we support faculty in a moment, but I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce the FRDO network. The Faculty Research Development Office is made up of people like Monica and myself who work in the central office. And we also work very closely with Anita Grierson, who is with the Grand Challenges program and also helps to facilitate interdisciplinary initiatives across campus. But the FRDO network is also made up of college embedded support. Our faculty research support officers are in a number of different colleges and schools across campus. So I'd like to use this opportunity to first give Monica a chance to introduce herself to you directly, and then take a chance for all of our FRSOs to share a little more about themselves, introduce themselves, share what college or school they're with, and give a little overview of the kinds of things that they work on within their college or unit and with FRDO more generally, because everybody's role is just a bit different. So I will start by handing it off to Monica.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us. I've been with the university about 21 years now. I started out at the Center for High Technology Materials, and then I moved to physics and astronomy, and then I've been in the FRDO office under the VPR for the last 11 years, I think it is now. And I know I've worked with a number of you in the past. I recognize some names, and in the central office, I tend to support a lot of those faculty who are in a college that does not currently have an FRSO directly assigned to them. And I also help with large interdisciplinary proposals, and I help support all the other FRSOs. I serve as backup. We serve as backup to each other when those of us are on vacation or on leave. And I also help to offer a lot of various workshops and information sessions, training sessions. So we serve a lot of different functions within the central office. And sorry, go ahead, Hannah.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Monica. Isela, are you here?
I am here.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure thing. I'm Isela Roeder. I'm the Faculty Research Support Officer for the School of Engineering. I've been at the university since 1997. I've mostly worked on soft money, so I've been helping faculty with their research endeavors since then. I started out as a volunteer coordinator, so I helped faculty to bring research subjects in originally, and then I became a research administrator shortly thereafter. So I've been doing research administration since 1998. I've been at the School of Engineering since 2005. I left for a short stint in 2014, and then I came back to the School of Engineering as this role, working with the FRDO office in 2016. So the School of Engineering faculty know me, and I help with doing proposals, as Monica said, the large interdisciplinary ones, but I also help train folks that are new and incoming to research proposals who have not had any experience with that. Right now I'm training folks for mechanical and for electrical engineering so that they can not learn like I did, trial by fire. And we are, helping with large interdisciplinary proposals, but also the smaller ones that are more prestigious and trying to just get their feet in the door. So it's all about, for me, it's helping the faculty succeed by getting that first step in getting their research recognized. And we also help support their postdocs and their graduate students when they're just learning, so that they understand the whole process of what their faculty have to go through to get them funded as well. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you, Isela. I don't think Christine was able to make it today, but Elizabeth, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Farrow. I've been with the university for 8 years now, and I've spent a little bit more than 5 of them over at College of Fine Arts. And last January, I added School of Architecture and Planning. You may not think of research when you think of arts, but for instance, we have Andrea Poli doing a lot of work with STEM education. We have, for instance, music and arts, where one of our people, or several of our people, assist folks who are dealing with things like cancer and aging, have a better quality of life through music and art. We have a museum, we have a lithography studio where we study the history of art and the methodologies of art. We have people who work on how music can help preserve languages, or how music and poetry and dance can deal with immigrant issues or people who've suffered trauma. Lots of our people are always looking for money for music recording and for performance, and that money can be very hard to come by. And then we have some really interesting and unusual kinds of projects like Orphan Billboards, where one of our faculty members will put a couple of provocative words on an empty billboard, and there's a short period of time where people can text or Twitter how those words make them feel, and then she compiles and talks about what has come from that. These are sort of momentary kinds of projects. In the School of Architecture and Planning, we work with design of structures and spaces, and also educational design. And also there's a lot of work done in preservation and restoration of structures and even cultural abilities like adobe making that are tied to the hundreds of years of history of New Mexico. So that's an overview of what we do.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Jennifer?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Kafka. I'm one of 2 faculty research support officers in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I've been at UNM. I started as a program research administrator for the Center for Evolutionary and Theoretical Immunology in the Biology Department. I still work there part-time, as well as a faculty research support officer for the college part-time. I started as an FRSO 6 years ago. And as a faculty research support officer in arts and sciences, we help our faculty. I know many of you who are here have reached out to our services, but we provide support in finding funding, guiding you through the proposal submission process here at UNM. We try and help faculty with everything but the science part of their proposals. So we just urge everyone that the moment they're just even thinking about submitting a proposal, or even have just a little idea of something that they're interested in pursuing, to please contact us so that we can help connect you with the services here at UNM. We can help connect you with collaborators. So that's what we try and do in arts and sciences. And I'm sure Vince can provide additional information as to what we do.
Thank you. Vince?
Hi, I'm Vince Aracino. I'm the second faculty research support officer in the College of Arts and Sciences. I've been at UNM since 2004. I started as a student employee in the sponsored projects office, and I've worked at the Center for High Technology Materials, HSC, and now in this current role as a faculty research support officer. I've been in this role for about 3 years now. And as Jennifer mentioned, at ANS, we pretty much help all faculty from, finding funding all the way to the point to where the proposal gets to the sponsored projects office. And of course, being in arts and sciences, we do everything from humanities to social sciences to physical sciences, natural sciences, everything. So yep, as I said, as Jennifer mentioned, please contact us early and as soon as you know that you are going to submit a proposal.
Thank you so much, Vince. So yes, we are a team. You're not alone in your research endeavors. I would strongly encourage you to get to know your faculty research support officer. And we also have a link in the upper right, which I'll add to the chat now, that has some other unit specific research administrators. And you can become familiar with all of the people across UNM who are here to support you in your research. So before we jump into our specific services, I do want to give just one more poll to get to learn a little bit more about what some of the biggest research challenges are that you face when you are doing your research. So what we'll do here is I'd like for you, you don't have to wait this time, to go ahead and enter the number or numbers that are associated with the different research challenges that you perceive to be your greatest challenges when you're doing research. So 1, coming up with innovative research ideas. 2, finding funding opportunities. 3, identifying collaborators. 4, developing a budget or budget narrative. 5, writing a compelling project narrative, telling the story of your research. 6, navigating UNM or other sponsor policies and procedures. Or is it something else? Go ahead and enter that into the chat now. I see a lot of navigating the sponsor and UNM policies and procedures, coming up with innovative research ideas. That's something that we also can help support. Oh, this is interesting. All right. So I see quite a few. Navigating the sponsor policies and UNM policies. That's one of our bigger ones. So it's definitely no doubt that research can be challenging. And if I have not stressed it enough to this point, that is what we are here for. So there are a few main services that we offer as an office, including finding funding opportunities that might match your research ideas or that would be appropriate. We also support research and proposal development. We coordinate limited competitions, which are different from the OVPR initiatives, and we'll talk more about each of these things. And we offer a number of different seminars, workshops, and trainings. So we'll share a bit more about these, starting with finding funding, and I will pass it over to Monica for this.
Thanks, Hannah. So in the poll that Hannah just did, some of you noted that finding funding could be a bit of a challenge. And so this slide will be helpful for you. UNM subscribes to a database called Pivot, and there's a link that Hannah has provided on the slide for accessing Pivot. And this is a database that includes funding opportunities from federal sponsors, state sponsors, foundations, private entities. So it's pretty comprehensive. And it also has filters, and you can log in through using, if you set up your UNM account using your UNM email address, you're able to log in from anywhere, and you can create searches that you provide your own filters, and you can set it up so that way you receive weekly notifications of any new funding opportunities that match the filters that you have set up. And so that's a really useful tool. It can take some time to get it set up in the beginning, but once you've done the upfront work, it kind of pretty much runs itself after that. So that's really helpful. UNM, we also, UNM Libraries offers Foundation Directory online, and you can get to it from the UNM Library's website, there's a LibGuides, and you can log into that and find out more information on foundations and the types of funding that they offer. And you can get other information on them to find out kind of what they typically fund. And I always recommend, though, after you've found a foundation that you're interested in, that you might want to go ahead and go to their direct website, because sometimes their priorities are not always up to date in the foundation directory online. So it's better to go to their website, which is usually more likely to be up to date. And we also can help you with analyzing solicitations and determining eligibility. So analyzing solicitations can be figuring out what kind of documents you need to complete your proposal. It might be knowing where to find various UNM specific information. Maybe you have a question about whether or not you're going to need to submit a letter of intent, things like that. We can help with reading and understanding those solicitations, and then determining eligibility. There might be restrictions. Maybe you have to be at a certain career level in order to submit for it. Maybe a solicitation might say that it needs to go through a 501c3, in which case we can help you navigate that process with figuring out if the UNM Foundation can help submit for us. So just a couple of things we can do there. Okay. So I'll turn it over to Hannah to talk about the research development piece.
Thank you, Monica. So we also have a number of research development activities that are designed to facilitate individual faculty members or teams to develop innovative and competitive research ideas. And we can also help to support people to form collaborative teams or come up with strategies that might enhance research success. And this can include brainstorming and ideation sessions. It can also include hosting networking sessions to connect you with researchers across different disciplines. And this is also one of the areas where we work most closely with the Grand Challenges. And if you are not yet familiar with our Grand Challenges initiatives at UNM, I would strongly encourage you to visit the website, grandchallenges.unm.edu. And in addition to learning more about the Grand Challenges initiative there, you can also sign up for the Grand Challenges listserv to receive communications about both the Grand Challenges and various interdisciplinary research initiatives that are going on at UNM. And also, I do want to give a shout out at this point to Irene Gray, who I see is here today. We do work closely as well with the Interdisciplinary Sciences Co-op, and that's something that we're really excited about, is helping to bolster these transdisciplinary collaborations as well. In most cases, we do hope that research development will lead to proposal development, and that's also something that we can support. Monica, do you want to share more about some of the things that we can do to support proposal development?
Yes, thank you. So we help main campus faculty put together a lot of times they request support on budgets and budget justifications, helping to collect subaward documentation, things of that nature. We can help support the ancillary documents, sort of such as your CVs, current and pending support. And that includes, if you're familiar with the National Science Foundation, creating those documents in the Science CV portal. We can help guide you through that process. As far as the narrative goes, we do have individuals within our team who can review and edit your drafts and help you think out your broader impacts. And then the process, I noticed a lot of you did note that you would be interested in more information on the actual process of getting your proposal into the Cayuse portal and routed through the UNM process for internal approvals and getting it to OSP in good condition, ready for your review. And so those are all things we can help you with. And along the way, we can guide you through the UNM policies and procedures for doing that and help you as well with any other policies related to the submission of your project, such as the uniform guidance, which are the federal guidelines, and any sponsor rules too. So we can definitely help you with that process. Okay. And then the next thing is coordinating limited competitions. So most of us who are within the FRDO are also serving as the limited competitions management team for main campus. And we work together to find solicitations that limit the number of submissions allowed by our institution. And we have a process for posting those competitions and sending them out to the campus. So those faculty who are interested in potentially being the selected submitter for that particular opportunity, they can get this information and follow the steps in order to submit for it. We also manage the actual committees of the reviewers, and then so basically we handle the process from the posting all the way to the notification as to who is selected as the UNM submitter. And just to let you know, we are moving to a new platform for this. Currently, we didn't have a software system to help with this process, and so it was kind of a manual process, and we will be shifting to info ready review very soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Thank you. And last but not least, one of the major services that we provide as an office is hosting workshops and trainings that can help you to make the most of your research. So any kinds of skills or knowledge or grants that you want to learn more about, we're here to support you through various workshops and trainings. To give you some examples of past workshops that we have hosted, we have a few listed here, including how to work effectively with the UNM Foundation, our affiliated 501c3 that Monica mentioned earlier. We've also hosted workshops on how to navigate the research proposal process, from coming up with an innovative idea to submitting the proposal. And then we've also hosted workshops on making good proposals great by improving broader impact statements. We do have a list of some of our past workshops, which can also be a great reference when you are trying to come up with, say, better, broader impact statements. You can review these past workshops and use those as references to support your research. I do want to mention, though, that we are not limited to the workshops and trainings that we've hosted in the past. We are always looking for better ways to support you in your research. So it would be great to think about how we can best support you to develop and fund your research. If you do have an idea for a workshop or a training that has been hosted in the past that you would love to see again, or something that you have not seen offered yet that you think would be really useful, please do feel free to reach out to us. We can be emailed at frdo@unm.edu. And you can also stay informed about our workshops by signing up for the PI listserv, and you can do that from our website, frdo.unm.edu. If you just scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, there's a place where you can sign up, and there's lots of great information that comes through that listserv. So I would highly encourage you, if you have not yet signed up for it, that it's a great place to learn more about how you can make your research more impactful and effective. And there's lots of advice on how to get funding for your research as well. We do also host a number of workshops alongside Advance, such as this one today. Advance, if you're not familiar, which I imagine everyone here is an NSF-funded project promoting women and minority STEM faculty at UNM. And Advance has a number of workshops that they host as well, and you can look at their events webpage to keep up with the events that they'll be hosting throughout the semester and throughout the year. We do have a few ideas in the works for upcoming workshops this semester, so please do keep an eye out for those. And now I will pass it back to Monica to share a bit more about how you can find us, why you should reach out to us, and then to share a few more resources before we wrap up with questions. Monica?
Thanks, Hannah. So this slide is just an overview of where you can find information on how to reach us. And one thing I want to point out is the last bullet, request proposal support. On our site, we have a red button where you can click it and you can submit a request for support for any of the services we provide. And if you don't know where to go to get the information you need, you can also submit that information through that portal and we will respond to you. And I wanted to also add that the colleges, so with embedded FRSOs, such as the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Engineering, the College of Education, and Fine Arts, all have a button where you can also click to get that info, to reach out to your FRSO with questions or requests for support. And one other thing I wanted to add about the PI listserv is that you can actually, if you sign up for that listserv, you will get information on the limited competitions as well. So that's another way to be able to access that information. All right, next slide, please. All right, and so then I wanted to just let you know that it's always good to ask questions and we are here to help. So ask us any questions you need and we will definitely, if we're not the right office, we can always direct you to who can help you. So we do save you lots of time, and with the services we provide, it will actually kind of free you up to work on the proposal narrative, on your science. And so we save you time in the process. And as I mentioned a little earlier about the colleges with the embedded FRSOs, here are links to their websites where they provide information and toolkits for how to put together the best proposal possible. They provide templates for various documents. And so I highly encourage you, if you're with one of these particular colleges, that you go ahead and take a look at these websites when you have a chance. They're very useful, and I think you'll find a lot of good resources there. And of course, the OVPR website offers a number of resources as well. So the first one is the research roadmap that kind of gives you an idea of the process and where to get information. The Office of Sponsored Projects, they are the office who actually does the final review and submission of your proposal for you. And they have tons of resources such as forms, frequently required forms, institutional information, guidelines, and links to policies and such. So take a look at their website when you have a chance. And then the Office of Research Compliance and Integrity, they cover everything from conflict of interest submissions, which you have to do every year. And if you're submitting to a PHS agency, you have to submit a conflict of interest for each and every proposal submission. And you can also find information on IRB, things like that. So I would recommend that you take a look at that website too when you have a chance. All right, well, Thank you. And now, please feel free to ask any questions you may have. And even if it happens to be specific to a particular college, we have our FRSOs here to help answer those questions.
Thank you so much. And I do also want to point out that Isela has added an additional resource for finding School of Engineering faculty by expertise or keyword. So that's a link that's now in the chat. Thank you so much. Please let us know if you have questions. We can take questions now. And you can feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, or throw them into the chat. All right. Well, if there are no questions, I would encourage you to please reach out to us when questions do arise. If you don't necessarily have a specific question, but would like to talk through a research idea, we are always here for you as well. And so we can just have a conversation to see how we can support you in your research. I do see a question here. Assuming services are available to PIs who are not also faculty. We do support folks from the main campus who are PIs who may not necessarily be faculty. So there could be postdocs, grad students, staff. But if you are eligible to serve as a PI on the main campus, then we are here to support you. And primarily, we are set up to support main campus faculty. If there are branch campuses who are collaborating with faculty on the main campus, then we can obviously help to support those projects, but primarily we work with main campus faculty.
And I'll add, I have on occasions helped with any kind of support for branch campuses that requires, say, something that you could do over Zoom. So helping to review and develop a budget and helping with CAIUS records. So so there are limited services that we can provide, but yes, we do our best to support all the main and branch campuses as best we can.
And I would say if you're ever unsure, always feel free to reach out and ask. Don't be shy. And one more thing just to point out is that if you just have an inkling of an idea or a question, try to reach out as early as possible just to let us know if you're thinking about a project and not quite sure. The more time we have, the more help we can give you, and the more time we can save you when you're working through developing a proposal or a research project. I see another question here. Do your staff assist with contacts with foundations that provide grants but do not allow direct application, those that require an invitation for the application?
I can take that one if you want, Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we can help you with those types of submissions. Often what we'll do is we will involve the UNM Foundation in those conversations because it might be that the UNM Foundation already has a relationship with that particular foundation and may have additional insights. And there are a number of foundations who you have to be an invited institution in order to submit. So if you know of any of those that you haven't, you're not sure if UNM has been invited or not, we can also work with you to, and the UNM Foundation as well, to figure out what that process might be and to see if UNM can become an invited applicant, if that's possible.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you, Selena, for your kind words. Selena says she highly recommends working with FRDO staff at any stage of research and funding process. And we are always here for you. So do let us know. Are there any other questions or comments? All right, then. With that, we can wrap it up. I do again want to thank you all for joining, and I hope you learned something about the Faculty Research Development Office today. And we hope to get to interact with you in the future, and we're really interested to learn more about your research and to support you in your research endeavors. So thank you so much, and thank you to all of our FRSOs who are here today as well, and to Advance. Have a great weekend.